Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Syntax Adda. My name is Raviranjan and today I am going to start with factory design pattern. So as we know, right, factory design pattern is also a creational design pattern. Okay, so this is also a creational design pattern. So let's say you know sometimes we rely on getting the object instead of creating it, right? So there are some situation when we want someone to supply the object, right? We are not just caring about how to create this, right? So in this situation you can use factory design pattern. Okay, so what is this factory design pattern? So this factory design pattern is a way of creating objects, right? So you can say, in other words, it is the manufacturer of objects on demand, right? So whenever you want the objects or type of the object you want, this factory design pattern will provide you the object. Okay, so we can say this is a way of creating objects. Okay, the other advantage, if you see, logic of creating object, right, will be separated from the piece of code where we are going to use that object, right? So in factory design pattern we have separation, right, between creation of the object and then the place where that object is being used. Okay, so the supplier of this object, we usually call it factory. Okay, so we call it factory. So this will be your supplier of the object. So let's say there is a vehicle factory, right? So this vehicle factory will manufacture the different type of vehicles, right? And we can buy kind of like a different type of vehicle from this factory. Okay, so this is the factory, and from there we can buy different kind of a vehicle. So if you want to buy car, we'll just go and we'll buy the car. If you want to buy bike, we'll go and buy bike, right? We'll not worried about how this car is manufactured here, right? We are not worrying about how bike is manufactured here, right? So that's what we call it. This kind of pattern, design pattern, is called factory design pattern. Okay, so let's see this with example. So let's open the workspace first. Okay, so this is the workspace. Let's create a new project. I will give it the name as factory design pattern. Okay, let's create this. Now let's create one class in some package. The package name I will give com dot syntax adda dot, and this is your factory design pattern. This is the package name I gave, and I am going to create one interface first, that is vehicle, right? So let's create this. So we'll create one abstract method here. Let's say void drive, and that's all. Okay, we'll create, let's say, class called car. Okay, and this is going to implement vehicle. Okay, so it is asking for implementing the unimplemented methods. So we'll implement this. Okay, create OK, and then we can just print some message here, system dot out dot println, and we'll say driving a car. Okay, now let's implement, let's create one more class called bike. Okay, and this is also going to implement same interface, that is vehicle, right? And we have to implement this unimplemented method. Okay, so let's click OK, and then I will print it here, system dot out dot println, and I will say riding a bike. Okay, so now we have created two class, right? One is car and one is bike, which are implementing this vehicle interface, right? Now let's create a class called main to showcase the traditional way of creating the object, right? So public static void main. Now if I want, bike object, now if I want the object of bike or car, right? How we are going to get that? So we'll say vehicle, right? And we'll say this is car, I want car equal to new car. So we'll get the car, and I will print the car dot ride, sorry, drive. Okay, same way, if I want vehicle, let's say I want bike, so I will say I will create object of that bike, and then I will call the method, right? Now let's run this and see the output. So we are seeing here, wait a moment, sorry, this should be bike, my bad. And I will run this again. So driving a car, riding a bike, right? So it is like, based on the, of what kind of object we want, we are creating it, right? But we don't want to do it. We just want to have such design pattern in place where we just need to tell what you need, and they will just, take care of creating the object, and it will give you, that object back. Okay, so how we can achieve that, right? So for that, we'll just, uh, before that, I will create one factory class, let's say vehicle factory. Okay, and what it will do, public, it will give you the, instance of this vehicle. Okay, get, or let's say create vehicle. Okay, and let's say it is going to take the argument, let's say what you want, let's say, uh, what kind of or what type of vehicle you want. Okay, so what we are going to do, so if type dot equals, let's say it's a car, right? Then in that case you are going to return new car. Okay, if, or let's say else if, okay, I'll say type dot, my bad, else if type dot equals, let's say if there is a demand of bike, will return bike object, right? And if we have nothing to give, right, give it back, then we'll return null, return null, right? So now we have the factory. So based on the demand, we are going to provide that object. Okay, now let's go to the main class, right? Instead of doing this traditional way of, creating the object, what we are going to do, we'll say, so vehicle, right? So what we are going to create the vehicle factory, right? We have vehicle factory now, and we'll just create the object of this factory, right? New vehicle factory, and then we'll just factory dot create, what I'm saying, create, let's say I'm saying bike, I want bike, right? So what will, so the vehicle, let's say this is returning bike, right? And then I can call bike dot drive. Okay, now let's see, let's run this. So riding a bike, right? And if you want, car, then it is returning driving a car. Now let's say it's, I'm asking for something else, right? I'm asking for bicycle. Then What is the expectation here? So it is throwing null pointer exception, right? So we are what we are throwing it here from the factory. If we are not having anything, right? If that object creation logic is not there in the vehicle factory, then we are returning the null, right? So we can handle this, null pointer exception. So by what we can do, if we'll just put this name as a vehicle, just to generalize this, right? And then let's check if this vehicle is not equal to null, right? If not equal to null, then what we are going to do? We are just going to call vehicle dot drive. Else, we'll say system dot out dot println, right? And then we'll see factory does not manufacture, right? Manufacture this object. Okay, now let's run this. And we are able to see factory does not manufacture this object. So this is called your factory design pattern. Hope this is clear to you. So if you like this video, please like and share it with your friends. And also don't forget to subscribe my channel for any further notification. Thank you so much.